you family, you traders, Europeans, how you guys doing? It's Euro Trader here again. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. So we are here for another week Forex market outlook. And yeah, we all heard the Queen passed on that statement, so rest in perfect peace. So let's see what's happening or what's going to happen in this week's Forex market. So we look at GBPUSD, XAUUSD, and GBPUSD. So let's go to the chart family. So let's start with where should we start with? Okay, let's start with GBPUSD. We've been expecting price to give us the bullish reversal, which I think is already forming. I think the bullish reversal is already forming on GBPUSD. So I think we should keep stacking more position for a buy entry, or we should enter in a very reasonable way. So let's draw this. This was the new low price created last week. Price even ended with a bullish candlestick. So don't be too much. So let's just complement with our rectangle. So let's move to the daily time. Okay. So initially price created this low before it created another low here. Can you see the weak rejection on the daily time frame? So let's just draw our trend line. The trend we've been following because we know this is obviously a bearish trend. Obviously a bearish trend. Preparing for a what? For a bullish reversal. So let's just mark it. We will call this market. So this is like a broadening megaphone. Also, also it also falls under a wedge pattern. Mm. So what's the next thing we should do? We should mark out what zone. We should bring out zones inside these things. We can call it intermediate zones. Zones embedded inside this place. So we can call it intermediate zones. We can just change to our line chart to mark things out, make it easier for us to see all these zones. So what we're apparently checking for here is for we're checking for buy pressures and sell pressures and connecting them together for it to become a what a zone. Look at a sell pressure and there's also a sell pressure here. So when you connect the both of them together, it becomes a what a zone. So that is a resistance area here, a resistance zone here. Can you see? Or you can add your rectangle. Good. Okay, so what can we mark out again? We can also see another bullish impulse here, which is a buy pressure. We can also mark that out. Okay, I think we've marked this. So let's go to the 4 hour time frames to check for inner trends. We know, like I said, we mark the trend is your friend. You don't joke with your trend. Don't underestimate your trend because your trend really helps a lot. Because you know when market is going up, it's a bullish trend. When market is going down, it's a bearish trend. And when market is going sideways, it's a what consolidating or ranging trend. So for you to know market because market is either going up or going down or going sideways. So that's to tell you you have to take the trend serious. You have to really, really take the trend serious. So we can just balance this from here. So now I want to check for inner trend. The inner trend I can see here is actually a bearish trend. So we know, it's a bearish trend, but we're expecting a bullish reversal. We already had something like, okay, but if we look at this thing here, we have something like an inverse heads and shoulder. Look at the first shoulder, the head, and the second shoulder. We have something like an inverse head and shoulder. Can you see? This is the left shoulder. This is the head, and this is the right shoulder. So we expect a bullish move upward. And you know, an inverse head and shoulder is a bullish pattern. So yes. Okay, good. So let me shrink this for you to see the beauty of this chart. We already marked the main trend, which is this mega pattern here. And we also checked for an inner trend here, which is more or less like a falling wedge or a descending channel, which price already broke out. So you know when price breaks out, we expect what a retest downward. So let's zoom into this area here where price could possibly retest to. Okay, good. So now this is what we want to pay attention to. We already paid attention to the trend and marked out zone. Now I want to pay attention to what market structure. So price broke this low here. Price already broke this low here. So we are expecting price to come back to test the low before it continues pushing upward. So like I said, we are talking about market impulse now. Sorry, market structure. This is an impulsive move. So we are expecting a retracement downward, which is called a correction or a pullback before the impulse upward on GBP USD. So we can just patiently mark this. So draw with the trend line. Good. So like this now, we already know we are waiting for a correction downward before we see an impulse upward on GBP USD. You know, now we said we are waiting for a retracement. Good. Then what can we use to back up this thing? We can use a word Fibonacci retracement tool also. So we'll mark the what? The recent low and the recent high. So can you see where we are even expecting price to come down to? The 50.0 Fibonacci retracement level is almost there or resting on top. So once we confirm a bullish candlestick here, we'll take it by upward on GBP USD. So that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm looking out for on GBP USD next week's market, in next week's market. So that's what we are looking out for. So let's go to GBPJPY now. Let's go to the daily time frame. Okay. Good, good. If you've been following up with this channel, if you've been following up with me in this channel, I said there are a series of weak bearish moves here, or weak bearish candlestick, which is to tell you the what the bulls are about to getting into the market. Because look at these are weak bearish candlesticks. So which is because you also pay attention to what market behavior. You pay attention to market structure, market behavior, market pattern, market trend. Once you pay attention to all these things, you won't. It will be easy for you to trade. You understand? You get used to the chart. You get used to the market, to the way the market responds to move. You understand? So these are series of weakness in the bearish candlestick. That's to tell you what the bears are weak and the bulls are about to come in. So all of a sudden, this was what the weak weekly candlestick. This is how the weekly candlestick ended. So let's just mark the week here, the weekly candlestick. So this just looks like price trapped into a consolidation. Can you see price is just consolidating? So we could see a retracement, that's a pullback downward before price starts pushing upward on GBP US and GBP JPY. But let's pay more attention to see what's happening on GBP JPY. Because analyzing only this can't decide if market is going to do this. So let's just see. So let's go to the daily time frame. Oh, can you see what I told you guys about price consolidating, moving sideways? This is a market trend too, but it's just a sideways trend. So let's just mark this one with a rectangle. Can you say it's a resistance area, even though it's a consolidating market, it's a resistance area? And can you see how strong this bullish impulse is here? So we could possibly see a breakout upward. And looking from the weekly time frame, we already saw what series of weakness in the bearish trend, which caused the what? A reversal, a bullish reversal. So let's mark. Okay, there's a psychological key. There's a psychological key area here. Let's mark it out. So let's see. So this is it. So we expect price to possibly put downward area on GBPJPY before the continuation upward. So it's just like impulse retracement, then impulse upward on GBPJPY. But let's see what we can also mark again. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frames to see what we can also mark. If we can mark a trend, if we can spot out where we can mark our trend line. So let's see. Okay, can you see price got rejected on this area? So let's see what we can mark again. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have a rising wedge here. Okay, so okay, price broke this low here. Price broke this low here. So let's mark it. Change our line. And you see price broke this low. So let's just mark it with our rectangle. Okay. So what we are just wait. We might see price push upward to this area here before we get a break below downward for a sell. And we can see after a break below, we can see a retest upward and a continuation downward on GBP, JPY. So that's what we are patiently waiting for. That's what we are patiently waiting for on GBP, JPY on this week's in this week's market. So I'm trying to adjust my trend line. So we can just price push upward to this area and start selling, or we can just see a continuation downward on the trend, but definitely there would be a correction move. There would be a correction move for us to enter, and we can enter or look for another possible pivot point to enter the trade. So this is what I'm looking out for on GBP JPY. So I expect a possible push downward to this 163.500 psychological key level before price starts pushing upward again. So let's go to gold. Okay, now let's work my format. So so let's go down. So let's go. Let me adjust it. So let's mark. So let's check for inner trends. Let's check for inner trend. I can't see any inner trend, so let's just mark out our and gold. Okay, there's another structure here. Can you see this bearish pressure here and this little bullish pressure there? So we can just mark that out. So let's go to the 4 hour time. Let's go to okay, so this is where price is presently. This is where price is presently. Let's go to 1 hour time. This out of the trend because there is no okay. So we have a trend here. Actually, now we have a trend here. So what could possibly happen here? What could possibly happen? Because there was a rejection here. So we price just pushed all the way downward before it starts pushing bullish. Or let's see a level here. There's a bullish level here. Can we mark that? Okay, so this is just the main point here. Because we can see price come here and start going up or break below and start going up. So that's what we are looking out for on gold. But presently, I don't really have a clear view on gold. I don't really have a clear view on gold because price is just trapped inside this place because this is just the point we are watching out for. If price breaks below, then we expect a push downward. But price can still come down here and start pushing upward. It depends on what we see. And we can as well wait patiently for a break above this trend. We can just wait for a break above or a break below this trend before we know how we want to react to it. So that's what I'm looking out on gold. So this is what we have on GBPJPY. Retest and a continuation upward on gold. A correction downward, a correction to this point before it starts pushing upward or break this downward. And YGBP a small push upward and a break below. When it gets here, it starts pushing upward. So we'll wait patiently and we'll react to what we see in the market. So that's what I'm looking out for on this week's market. Stay off family and don't forget to like and family. Peace out.